What's up, my millennial and wannabe Gen Z bitches? Welcome to our podcast, man. We are pretty much the latchkey radicals, if you will, also known as the Gen X bros. My name is Glenn, and this is my brother, Erik.
Gen X. I never knew that we were considered Gen X for a long time. Because when I think of Gen X, it sounds like, punk, like a punk. When I think of Billy Idol, because he was in a band called Generation X, and we're Gen X. That's our generation. I don't know. I always thought we were yuppies or what. I don't know. I'm really bad with the generations thing. But
we're considered the last true mix of generations, because we're the badasses that got technology, and yet we're still old school to where we're fucking running around blowing shit up. Doing things from the past, but
because the new generation is Gen Z, right? So Gen Z
it goes millennials and then Gen Z, and then whatever else is after that, I don't fucking know. Either way, they're all little whiny bitches compared to us. So
what's little Glenn gonna be? What's his generation? What would he? He's Gen Z.
I don't know. Gen doomed.
Gen doomed. Yeah. Any kid from this point on is Gen doomed.
Yeah, they're a fucking doomed generation, man.
Yeah. COVID generation. That's probably what they'll call it, the COVID generation.
I mean, either way, man, we're here to fight the power. You know, the beauty of this is we're going to do it without ever leaving our Facebook profile. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, Erik, I'm assuming you're a bit of an expert on the Facebook.
Yeah, everything I bitch about on Facebook, I could bitch about here. No judging. Let it vent, and you get twice the action.
And then I saw recently in the news it's pretty much Facebook, man. They got hammered with everything that's going on. They lost a lot of money. I guess people are finally fucking leaving Facebook and moving over to TikTok, from what I understand.
Yeah, you'd think still the Facebook seems like it's never going to go away. Like how MySpace just sort of disappeared out of nowhere when Facebook came along. But that's a big hit. $240 billion they lost in the market, and it serves them right, man. Fucking. Am I allowed to cuss here? Fuckerberg, man.
Yeah, fuck that.
I've been in Facebook jail. I don't know how many times over the dumbest shit. With somebody else will threaten my freaking life. I got this Jamie O'Neill guy fucking threatening me, saying he's going to skin me alive when he sees me. And then I say something to him, and I'm the one that gets Facebook jail. But now I got screenshots of him making those threats. So,
but that's what those people are on Facebook. They're like little bitches, because they complain and they say this stuff to you, and you don't report them. You're just like, okay, well, fuck you. I'm going to fire back. And then when you say something, they actually go and report you like a little fucking whiny bitch.
Yeah, and it's like they get 30 days. And what sucks about that too is that now I'm restricted. So now when I try to share things like promotion, promoting my projects, my music projects, it goes to the lowest level in the feed. So in other words, and then you're restricted from it. I can't invite a lot of people. Like, used to be able to send out mass invites, but now I can't. Because I've had too many.
So it's kind of like, I used to do the same thing on Amazon when we used to sell products, is that, if they shut you down, it's like starting all over again, and then they're constantly watching you. So do you think Facebook is kind of dead then, or?
I'm probably always going to use it. I think it's definitely dead for the Gen Zs or whatever, the newer generation, because, I'll bring it up even to some of my clients that are younger than me. I'll talk about, Facebook. Oh, Facebook. No, we don't do that anymore.
It's like, no. I don't think anyone under 21 does Facebook anymore.
So, but I still, it still seems pretty happy. I don't know. It is still, to me, it's a fun place just to vent some stuff out and just goof around and post videos. But because to me, it seems like TikTok and Instagram, even though those are more popular, but I just feel like you're kind of like, okay, all you really can do is just post videos and not really have any discussions. What about Facebook is you can actually have these debates and discussions and scream at people yell back at you. And
well, you can in TikTok, they have like a comment section where people have arguments and stuff like that on that particular video. Yeah, and they go all crazy. That's what makes the video more popular. I find that with TikTok, I'm on it more because I'm happy when I'm on it. Like, I watch something and I go, oh, that's cute, or that's funny, or, hot chicks, or whatever it is. I'm enjoying myself. When you're on Facebook, it's just so much fucking misery, man. You watch, if you respond to one anti fucking whatever it is, for the next 3 months, you get all of these posts in your feed that just are constantly bombarding you with the same negativity. Whereas if you look up kittens, You don't get bombarded with kittens. No, it's just full of nothing but negativity. If you correspond with anybody else that's negative, it's like Facebook wants you to fight. They want you to fucking.
And I think that's what really hurt Facebook too is when that whistleblower came out. What was that last year sometime when they talked about that Facebook knows that all of that stuff, they knew all of that was going on, but they chose profit over the people, because they make profit out of all that stuff. And well, they're losing that profit now, but
yeah. I mean, they'll gain it back. I'm sure they'll do some kind of stupid shit, because there's a lot of dumbass. They're probably all Gen X people. They're all probably our age that don't really understand technology because they believe the shit. It's like when people in the caveman days first discovered literature, and they're like, wait, you can make up a story and just tell people whatever it is, and then they believe it. And, it's like the Bible and shit. It's all of a sudden you start, whoa, yeah, the whole world was flooded for 40 days. That's literal.
Well, nowadays, it's like people make a meme and people believe the facts on the meme.
That's what I mean. It's like they don't understand technology. It's almost like if you took somebody from the 1920s and had them watch Star Wars, and then you'd be like, holy shit, there's actually spaceships no, it's fucking special effects, you dipshit. What the fuck are you thinking? And I think people just don't, older generation like us, I mean, we've been fortunate enough to kind of move along with it, but I think those other people are.
I wonder I wonder if Zuckerberg is like purposely burning it to the ground because he's got that metaverse in the works. I don't know if you've ever seen the sample, the test videos of that metaverse. It looks like it's going to be pretty creepy. Like the fact that and it's something I kind of predicted. I was thinking about that a couple of years ago. We're going to get to a point where everyone just stays in their house with these virtual reality glasses, and you could just go out into this whole new world and do whatever the fuck you want, and nobody gets hurt. Like Tony used to say, the beauty in fiction is you can murder anybody and get away with it.
And enjoy it too, without feeling guilty or going to jail.
So I think that's what metaverse is going to be like.
But I think too that it's already here. You can go onto it. Like my son G2, he has the Oculus Quest. And you can actually log into it right now with your Facebook and actually go into the metaverse. But
okay, yeah.
But as what's his face, Keanu Reeves said, why, this is nothing new. I mean, the metaverse has been around for, the last 10, 20 years. Why does Zuckerberg get all the fucking credit for creating something that's already been there, and he's just going to create a Wii version of it? Like, it's cheesy looking. Fuck that. I ain't going to do that shit. But
like, I wonder if do you have to pay monthly? I wonder for, is it going to be something that's going to be free like Facebook?
I'm sure it's going to be free and based on you're going to get bombarded with advertisements.
Yeah. Maybe you could be able to punch the advertiser out or something.
You're going to be having virtual sex with some chick, and a fucking McDonald's ad is going to come up.
Yeah. McDonald's pop
now that you're done, go get some Mickey D's. Fucking idiots, man. I hope Facebook died. I hate it. I've always hated Facebook, man. I've never.
Yeah.
Other than promoting stuff, or I don't care. I don't care about the people.
And it even sucks with promoting stuff, because now, because they have that algorithm where it's like, if they see that there's something that you're promoting, then they're just going to stick it at the bottom of the feed. Nobody's going to see it,
Which is weird, because I don't know. Have you seen those ads for that DuckDuckGo or whatever it's called, to add privacy to your Google search engine? It's called DuckDuck.
No, I haven't seen that. No.
So I hear these ads constantly about DuckDuckGo, and I'm wondering what their angle is, because basically if you add the extension to your web browser, you know how if you look something up like cell phones, all of a sudden you get bombarded with cell phone ads.
Yeah.
So this particular thing blocks all that, but then they keep advertising something, and they're spending money on this advertising, right? To block ads so that way you don't get advertising. What's the angle? What money do they make from this?
Yeah. And can you block their ad?
Yeah. I don't understand. What's the point? I mean, if it was some free thing that you kind of searched up and you looked for and you go, okay, I wanted to add that because I found out about it's like a free software, but I hear these ads on the radio all the time, and I see commercials, and I'm thinking, why are they spending all this money on something what's their return? Are they secretly collecting data that we don't know about, and we think it's safe because they're telling us that, and then next thing you know, they're going to bombard us in a different way. It could be a secret society of information seekers.
I made one post about Cameo, and now I got all these ads about Cameo, because Danny Filth is on Cameo now, and he was like,
Really? That's funny.
And he's only charging $50. I might get one for Blue just because I know she loves Danny Filth. But he's only charging $50. But I thought, like, it's kind of strange that you're paying celebrities money to pretend to be your friend.
Yeah.
You know? And I said, well, I'm a Z-list. I'll pretend for free. You know. Then all of a sudden I'm getting all these ads for Cameo now. Like,
but isn't that weird? Like, wasn't it the same thing though back like in the 90s where you could have somebody leave a message on your message machine?
Yeah.
Like that was basically the Cameo where you're like, oh, have a celebrity leave you a message. Like,
which is probably where, probably derived from that.
It's just a new version of it, man. It's the same fucking regurgitated shit.
But it's funny, all the 80s rockers are totally taking it, like Sebastian Bach, all those guys are on Twitter, even
all the celebrities are fucking jumping on board when they want to make some extra dough. I know Snoop Dogg was on there.
And those guys are charging like $1,000
Yeah. And people are paying it. I mean, their time is worth it, but
but they also have it for businesses too. I guess it's probably good for your business. They have like a business package where you pay extra and then they'll promote your business or whatever. I don't know how many pranks they get. Like, probably people say, "Yeah, can you promote this?" Or like like a dildo shop or something.
Well, yeah, that's what they used to do. That's what was with Fiverr. I think it was all the memes and shit were created because these guys would write and make people say funny ass shit that made no sense, and they would become stars.
Gilbert Godfrey. That's who I was thinking of, the comedian. Like he's got. It's like there's no way I'd pay that guy for a fucking cameo.
$50. Like what? So
I think he charges $300, but like shit,
really, damn, $300.
Yeah, and he's so annoying, so like imagine you have to pay for that.
All right, so hey guys, everybody that's out there right now, remember this is the Gen X Bro Show with Glenn and Erik. And, hey, this is our first show. So, it's going to kind of be like having sex with your first partner. It's not that great at first, still enjoyable though. But with time, the more you do it, the better it's going to get. So
yeah, it's two half brothers giving you one whole show.
Have you heard about the Joe Rogan situation? Do you know what that?
Yeah, that happened. When did that happen?
Last week, or was it about a week and a half ago? So I guess what happened? What was it? What's his name? Neil Young got pissed off and said, "Hey, I'm going to take off my music at Spotify unless you do something about Joe Rogan's carelessness of like spreading misinformation." Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't Joe Rogan's show about misinformation like a long time ago? Like, wasn't it like
it's kind of been like that. And
I don't know. I got two different. I'm on the fence with this. One, I think Joe Rogan shouldn't be censored in a way. Yeah. If they want to put something before a show that says, "Hey, you should be aware of misinformation," which I think they finally started. I think that was the deal they struck the other day. Like Spotify's going to start doing it now, which is they should have done it in the beginning. But before we get to Joe Rogan, I think somebody like Neil Young. Now, if you think about this, you know damn well that if Neil Young didn't have any other source of revenue, he wouldn't say shit. He wouldn't pull this stuff from Spotify. And everybody knows that Spotify gives a shitty deal to artists. So maybe this isn't about Joe Rogan. Maybe this is about negotiating a better deal so he could pull his music and say, "Oh, it's because of Joe Rogan. And then if you want me to put my music back on on Spotify, you're going to have to give me a better cut." And then you got another artists who are following his footsteps, like Joni Mitchell, and I forgot a few other like kind of people that we don't really care about. It seems like all the people we don't care about is going to pull off there. And I stopped listening to Spotify anyway just because of the quality. But I don't think it has anything to do with Joe Rogan. I think it has to do with their shitty cut of Spotify's ripping them off. Well, they're paying him a lot of money, right? Joe Rogan. I heard it was something like $250 million over a 5-year period to host his show or something. Yeah, like are they only doing it exclusively on Spotify? So I would just see him on. I just catch his clips on YouTube every now and then. And like he's gonna. To me, he sounds like he's always been curious. Like he even said it in his apology that he tried to have. Even though he's had a little bit more guests that are controversial than he'd like to have, but he's going to try to even it out to where he has guests with different point of views, but he's just always kind of more curious. And but see, that's I have a lot bullshit. Of friends that they're not buying that. He just basically just wants people to validate his own. Well, that's what I'm saying. When you listen to the apology, there's some funny shit in it, like
dangerous misinformation. Specifically about 2 episodes, a little bit about some other ones, but specifically about 2. One with Dr. Peter McCullough and one with Dr. Robert Malone. Dr. Peter McCullough is a cardiologist, and he is the... Now, again, he's saying that it's because of these 2 episodes that he had these experts on. But he's been spitting out false shit about, like, since the beginning. Like, oh, he didn't even get... until he got COVID, he was going to take horse tranquilizers or whatever that stupid drug was, and whether it worked or not. And listen, I get his point. He's saying, I like to have different people on with different points of view.
there's nothing wrong with that. And if they say something nutty, hey, what can you do? You know, that's what they say. But if you purposely go out of your way to kind of spit things in a different direction, well, then you're kind of guilty of doing stupid shit. You know, whether you should be allowed to do it or not, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But this thing is funny where he says this. Let me see if I can find it.
Dangerous misinformation in them. The problem I have with the term misinformation, especially today, is that many of the things that we thought of as misinformation just a short while ago are now accepted as fact. Like, for instance, 8 months ago, if you said, if you get vaccinated, you can still catch COVID and you can still spread COVID, you would be removed from social media.
That's bullshit. They always said, no matter what, if you got vaccinated, you are still capable of getting the virus. You're still capable of spreading it. You know, they never said that. No, they were the right wingers were the ones that were saying that shit as their misinformation. That's what doesn't make any sense. So he's quoting misinformation from the very side that everyone gets upset about misinformation, as if he was on the opposite side of that. And now you can say it. It's kind of like a bullshit spin, you know, I think. Anyway. I don't know.
Just like, I think the bottom line is anyone who gets their information from a podcaster or a musician and not their doctor, that they probably have other issues.
And that's the point he made, which I am completely okay with. You know, it's like Howard Stern or anyone else who's a comedic who makes satire about the things you hear. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, if you hear something and you call it out that it's goofy because you don't believe it, you're allowed to do that. You know, hey, nothing wrong with that, but you shouldn't be fucking taking off the air.
Yeah, I think in this day and age, because we have a little bit more mentally unstable people in society, it seems like anyway, that, you know, like 10 years ago, his podcast wouldn't have been no big deal. People would have been okay. But now we got people who actually take that shit serious. They take it to heart and they end up like...
Well, because the problem is that 10 years ago, when you said some nutty shit, you had at least 9 out of the 10 people go, yeah, that's some nutty shit, dude. You're a fucking moron. But now, when you say some nutty shit, it's only like 5 people out of 10 that say that's some nutty shit. The other 5 people go, dude, you're right. We do have people living on Mars. That's fucking true. And you go, whoa, if 5 people believe me, it must be true.
Plus, I saw a meme on it. And like, facts are now just considered opinions. Like, no matter how the fact, like, if the sky's blue, oh, that's just your opinion.
Yeah.
It's not a fact anymore.
It's just, I don't understand. I watch on TikTok, there's these guys called the Good Liars, where they go to like the Trump rallies and stuff like that, and they ask them goofy questions, man. And those people are fucking nuts. We'll have to do a show just based off of watching their TikToks because man, I think they just had a movie come out too or something. They're the guys that go to like political rallies and then they'll stand up and yell at Pence or something and say goofy stuff, or they interview the people outside of all the rallies. And I just saw one yesterday where the guy was saying, yeah, you didn't know that, but the people have been living on Mars since World War II. And this guy, he looked like a normal guy. He was saying it with the most sincere, like he fucking believed it. And he didn't have that, like usually you have that crazy look in your eye when you're saying some nutty shit or, you know, this was just like a normal guy that believed the shit that he's told on some 4chan website or whatever the fuck it is, man.
Like that guy, Jordan Klepper, that you're talking about, the guy that goes and interviews those Trump supporters at rallies. And sometimes if I'm in a kind of a sour mood or whatever, I'll watch those videos just to kind of like, you know, make myself smile. It's like, they're still...
Remember how stupid people are.
There's just some bizarre ass shit.
Now listen, when I say there's stupid people out there, I include myself into that because I'm not, I'm not smart all the time. I fall for stupid shit. I am smart in some areas, but I'm stupid in others. And I think
same here.
That's the way everybody else is. But
I take pride in my 52 IQ.
Yeah, 52. That's pretty high there, Eric.
Is it? Okay, what's the lowest?
Well, I think 60 and below is like complete. Basically, you're mentally challenged. To say it politically correct.
Yeah, I think I'm 58 at least. right under 60.
The last IQ test I took, I think I was 152. So.
Yeah, I think mine was high too, but I don't trust it because it was from one of those apps on my phone. So I just have a very limited vocabulary, and I think I attribute that to just reading comic books and not regular books. So I don't know if that affects my IQ or not, but I don't know.
No, it's probably higher than you think, but
Yeah.
For the record, we'll all say we're 40 at 40, 40 IQ.
Yeah, right.
So that way people complain about the show and say hey, we're low IQ, man. I don't fucking.
Yeah. We embrace it.
Yeah.
Embrace that shit.
Don't make fun of us. We're disabled.
Yes. We're mentally challenged.
But with Joe Rogan, man, it obviously must have been serious for him to apologize. He doesn't seem like the type of person to apologize. He seems more like the person to say, fuck you, I ain't doing shit. I for sure thought he was going to say like, fuck you, everyone. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Spotify had a lot to do with him.
Yeah, which is weird because you would think out of all the people that I think would not cave, he would be one of those people, like him and like maybe what's that other guy, Ben Shapiro. He would say the most outrageous shit. That dude will never apologize. You just know that's who he is. And I thought Joe Rogan was in that boat.
Neil Young, he's so woke that I see that meme. He's so woke that he canceled himself.
That's funny.
And he's rocking in the free world. He wants to cancel Joe Rogan, but he's rocking in the free world.
And that's what's funny too. Like Joe Rogan starts to tell this story about Neil Young, how he I quit on the day. And I thought there was going to be some like piece where he bet him or something, and it just kind of fizzled out. I was all, what? That's your story? You just left? You quit a job?
and Neil Young and Joni Mitchell, they've been protesters since the 60s or whatever. Their music's a lot about protesting. And so I think it's just, he's going to be okay. He's on iTunes. All they did was make his music go even further on iTunes. They did that whole boost. And then he got a channel on Sirius with the Neil Young channel now. So
I mean, it's all publicity bullshit. Who knows? It could have. That's why I think it's probably a negotiating stance more than anything else. And everybody wins because everybody gets extra views, extra listens, extra downloads.
Like the guy on Sirius who created that channel he was smart, thinking he did it just perfect time. He's like, oh yeah, I'm going to create a channel for Neil Young, get some new subscribers.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It almost seems planned. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like you can all of a sudden just come up with something like that instantly. It takes planning. It's all part of the system, man. Even Neil Young is part of the system.
So isn't Joe Rogan's podcast is like 4 hours or something long, or 2 hours, or 3 hours?
I think it's just kind of whatever. Yeah, it's like Howard Stern, where it just kind of just goes
and goes. Yeah, I think that's why I always just watch clips or whatever. Like, I don't know if I could sit through a 2 hour, 3 hour podcast.
Yeah, I don't listen to the whole thing. I just hear clips too. And again, he has a good point where people just hear a clip and they don't hear the full context of what's going on and they judge it. But, again, who gives a shit, man? Let him say whatever the fuck he wants. I mean, I don't care. I'm a believer in people should be able to say whatever they want and you have to figure it out. That's part of being an adult. That's part of, if you're dumb enough to put bleach in your veins, then I think you deserve to die. You know what I mean? Like at this point, if you're stupid enough to where you haven't gotten vaccinated yet and then you die from COVID, don't fucking come whining to me and say, go get the shot. Fuck you. Yeah. You deserve to die. That's the way we're thinning out the herd, man. Fucking get rid of these people.
Wonder who's going to threaten to remove themselves if they hear our show.
Yeah. I don't give a shit. Until we get an audience, then I'm going to be like, I'm very sorry for what I said. I don't give a shit. Who cares?
Travis Scott threatens. No,
I know.
I made a joke. Vince Neil threatens to take singing lessons if he doesn't remove Joe Rogan.
That whole Travis Scott thing was crazy too, huh? Like the concert thing. Man,
oh yeah.
What a dipshit! Since you brought that up, I was like, man.
He kept going on and almost felt like he was kind of egging it on,
You can't be that clueless when you're doing a show, unless he was high or something. I don't know, but you can't be that clueless when you're doing a show. Because you're living off you're feeding off of the audience, and you're watching them, and you're seeing. That's what's pushing you to go further. And if you see ambulances and people going crazy, it's your responsibility to stop that.
I wonder what came of that. I wonder if he got sued or.
I think from what I heard, he gave everybody their money back.
Oh yeah, did he pay for the funerals?
Yeah, he paid for all this, which was cool of him to do.
I don't even think I know one Travis Scott song. It's like these rappers these days.
It's the weirdest fucking thing, man. They have a documentary of him on Netflix, and I watched part of it, and it's the weirdest thing. The music is like trap. Mm-hmm. It's not even heavy music. It's like I don't know how to explain it. It's not heavy, but everybody's banging their head as if they're at a fucking Metallica concert. I don't understand. I can't figure it out. Like they're like fucking rocking and going crazy, and the music is like, boom,
yeah.
And I'm like, why are you banging your head to this shit? I mean, it's cool, But
does
it's
he
not
do the
worth.
mumble rap too, or does he just rap regular? Is he
No, he raps regular. I think I think he sings too. I don't remember. Yeah. I didn't listen to it enough to care. But I just found it odd, like when I saw the people going crazy in the shows, like as if it was like fucking Anthrax mosh pit. The music was like country music. You know, it's like you don't bang your head to country music. It just doesn't make sense. It just makes your brain go, what's going on here? Why are these people all crazy?
Imagine if you threw some death metal in there. Exactly. Probably heads would explode.
No. I mean, I admire him for like jumping into the crowd and trying to care about his fans. But at the same time, you don't give a shit about your fans because you're sticking them in a tiny little box. Like sardines, you're not looking out for their best interest. Fucking people.
Billie Eilish wouldn't do that to her fans.
No, she would just call them all stupid and ugly or something.
Yeah, probably.
Like, I don't understand. Like, she's
fling a booger on them.
Well, I saw that thing where she was promoting body positivity and shit. And then she goes on and does some interview or something and says, yeah, if you have an ex-boyfriend, he thinks he could get a hot chick. He's just ugly and shit. I'm like, you're putting him down because he's ugly.
Total hypocrite.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, I mean, she's still young, so you know, I don't hold it against her. You know, we all say stupid shit.
Probably forgets everything she says.
Yeah. So what's another thing we've been, what just happened? That fucking Rudy Giuliani, man.
Oh, yeah.
Holy
damn,
shit.
I saw that yesterday. I was like, man. I hope they show that episode because
they're going to show it. Of course, they're going to show it. Why not?
Even though they spoiled it, I watched that show a few times. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I definitely want to tune in for that new season if that's going to be the first episode.
So I don't know if you saw the Jimmy Kimmel version of it. He did like a skit.
Oh yeah.
And he basically, did you see what happened in season 1, the reveal? And then they pull out their head and it's O.J. Simpson.
Oh, yeah. I saw that one. And they did a few other ones.
Yeah, I did Kim Jong-un. And, and then COVID.
Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, yeah, Harvey Weinstein.
I was expecting to see Bill Cosby, but I guess they didn't pull him out.
That's for season 6, I guess.
Yeah, right.
That was pretty brilliant. I mean,
I wonder whose idea that was. It's like he's got to be hating life right now.
Well, I mean, it's Fox TV, so there's some kind of association with Fox News. So, but what's going through Rudy's head? Like, is he that conceited that he's thinking, man, they love me. I want to be on this show and I want to sing. I want to hear him sing. Actually,
that's what trips me out about these guys like Mike Lindell, the Pillow Guy, and Rudy Giuliani. Like, I mean, they got to see they can't be that out of tune of all the jokes and the fucking laughing stock that they are. Like, how is it that they kind of still walk through life as if they're like, there's nothing wrong? Like, if that was me getting totally joked on and hammered on, I would just come to my senses and say, well, you know what, maybe I did fuck up. Maybe the election wasn't stolen. It. Maybe I'm worshiping the wrong guy. You know, I would think that's what they would do, but it's just like, what's keeping them?
Well, I think they understand how stupid people are. I think that's part of the mastermind. They're like evangelicals back in the 80s and 90s. Like those evangelicals would just completely tell you, hey, I'm driving around in a Rolls Royce. I'm taking your money that you're giving to Jesus. I'm going to send you to heaven, but you better send me more so I can get a bigger house, the righteous gemstones, you know. That's what they're doing. They know how stupid people are. And they're like, I can push this as far as I want.
Yep.
And people are still going to believe the bullshit that I peddle outside of that. And like, even when he was in that Borat movie, I mean, that was just fucking, I mean,
that was funny as hell.
and he didn't get pissed. You think he would like, do something about it. He's just like, okay, whatever. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. You had to feel stupid though.
Yeah. When it happened, but then he's thinking, hey, this is publicity,
Because they're taking money too. Like they're getting rich off that lie. And, the dumb people are still dumb enough to send money in and $5 here, $10 there. And that's why they're grifters.
Absolutely. And I don't understand it. But again, I think it's a Christian mentality, and not to keep harping on religion, but that's the best reference I can come up with, is the fact that it's that mentality that if you believe something, no matter what somebody else tells you, you're having faith in that one lie. And if you go against it, it's like the whole building blocks of your life are destroyed.
Yeah.
Like, you believe for 30 years that Jesus existed and he's going to come and blah, blah, blah. And then you find out he doesn't. You're like, wait, I just wasted 30 years of my life. No, fuck that. I can't live with that. They're already in too deep. They've already believed the Trump and the Giuliani. But still, at least the two guys, what was it, Thicke and
Alan Thicke, and then who was a Chung guy, John Chung or whatever, Asian, the dude from
Community.
Yeah, Community, right? Yeah.
That's what I loved him from.
In the Hangover movies.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But at least they had enough guts to fucking walk out. Now the two girls might have been, what's her name, McCarthy and the other chick
Well, from what I understand, I think they were questioning him about the election or something. But as for when the article I was reading, they stayed and they were actually asking Rudy Giuliani about the facts of the
yeah, but they were doing it in like a lighthearted way, like joking around, like, oh, we're funny,
Well, I hope they air it like where we could see the judges walk off. I just hope that they. But it's but the thing is, how are they going to play it off? Because I thought the whole premise of the show is that you're not supposed to know what the person looks like until after the episode, until the end of the episode. But now that everyone knows which character he is, or I guess maybe we don't know which character he is.
I guess you couldn't keep it under wraps. Yeah, they didn't release who he actually. But obviously, when they get to the end, they go, "Who is this? The one that gets voted off? He was the first one voted off."
But I hear they already lost a lot of viewers. Like they did a poll, and a lot of people were saying that they're not going to tune into the show anymore because of it. So they might not even air it. Who knows?
Nah, they'll air it. That's stupid. Everybody would tune in just because of that. It may go down. I think it's all a stunt anyway. They probably all just made the shit up and they knew it was going to happen. That's why you had the two girls stay and the two guys leave. Like why would it be split like that down the middle? Like
I just want to see a sweaty ass fucking come out of that mask.
That's like fucking Dracula coming out of this coffin and shit.
Look at the hair dye dripping down his face. That'd be cool.
So he can look young. He's got to be hip for all the fucking people, man.
A guy that used to be like America's mayor, like everyone loved him at 911, and something happened, he just flipped. And
no, from what I understand, he was always nutty.
Yeah,
it's just because of what happened, it made him look better. 9/11 made him look like a better person than what he was, because he was always nutty before that.
I think there's even photos of him dressing like a woman at a party or something.
Yeah, which is whatever. That's stag type of thing.
Yeah,
but, if he wants to do that, that's cool. I don't care about that, but. All right, so what else is going on in the news?
What about Whoopi Goldberg? The last person I thought would ever get canceled is for.
Did she actually get? I heard something about that. Like, so what happened?
The queen of wokeness didn't know that the Holocaust was a race.
That's right. She said.
She said like it wasn't about race. It's about. And then she tried to walk it back on Stephen Colbert and looked even dumber. She was saying, "Well, I was trying to say that if you look at any white person, you can't tell if they're Jewish, whereas a black person you can." And if there's a KKK guy coming down the street, he's going to go after the black person and not the white person, even though the white person is Jewish. But she didn't understand. Well, the KKK, they don't like Jews either. That's the whole point of the Nazis. And,
well, of course, it was based on race because you could tell because the Jewish community. Just like if you go to L.A., there's a Mexican community, there's an Indian community, there's little Sri Lanka, there's like little Japan.
And I understand kind of what the point she was trying to make is all about skin color. Was she can't make that argument because it wasn't about skin color. The Nazis did see the Jews as an inferior race, and because they were white, they had to put those yellow stars on
the banners on their shoulders. But even too, the Irish were the Italians when they came to America. The Irish, they were condemned because of their race. It was based whoever the poorest people at that time, Mexican people based on their race. That's a race thing. I think Will Smith said something a few years back. Like he said something like, yeah, Hitler didn't wake up one morning and just said he wanted to kill all the Jews. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the way it happened. That's what he said. I mean, I got what he was saying, but it's weird how like these actors like that, like they think they're woke. And then they say some stupid shit that makes them not so woke.
That's what I said. I thought she was like the queen of wokeness, and then she goes and gets canceled for 2 weeks.
Oh, is that what happened? She actually lost it.
Well, she's suspended from the View for 2 weeks. Yeah.
Like, that's like I don't understand that.
So she's supposed to be taking that 2 weeks to reflect and learn and be educated. Got these Jewish leaders kind of educating her on.
So instead of going to like Alcoholics Anonymous, instead of going to like recovery these days, you go to like wokeness class or something.
Yeah, you got to go to wokeness class, Jew school.
Yeah. I don't get that, man.
Send them to Valley Village in North Hollywood.
Like that's one thing I never understood is like why people hate Jewish people. I mean, I guess it's because of the religious thing, because they don't believe in Jesus or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, we've known plenty of Jewish people. We used to live by the Jewish communities.
Yeah.
And they were like the nicest people. They always did cool things. They were always, very nice to us. I mean, I don't understand. Like who cares?
Even like my telemarketing, when I was doing all the home improvement, they were all run by the Israeli Jews, and they were nice until you didn't make them any money. Then they were.
But that's with anybody. That has nothing to do with their race, If you're not working, they fire you and get mad.
Yeah. Erik, no sales today, Erik. You need money. I need money on you. You need to make money. I'll give you one more week.
But again, like there's a difference between saying, "Oh man, yeah, that guy was an asshole. I didn't like him." Yeah. But now I'm going to hate every Jewish person I ever met. It's the same thing with any race. Like, I got robbed by a black guy, so now I'm going to hate all black people across the board. Like,
well, that's one thing I never understood.
Mistakes.
Like, when I first heard about that, like, Grandma told us about Arlie, not, counseling out our Uncle Arlie, like, he totally disowned his sister just because she was with black guys. But he said the reason why is because he was beat up by black guys in high school. So ever since then, he just always hated black people. That was my first understanding about what racism was as a kid, hearing that, thinking like, well, that's kind of weird. Like, I've been picked on by different colored kids. I don't hate all different colors, or they were just assholes to me, It's like
that individual is responsible for his actions, not a complete entire race is not responsible for the stupidity of one person.
Yeah, that's why I can never understand why someone would just cancel out an entire race of people just over one person.
I think that's just their excuse for their reasoning and for their thought process. Oh, well, that's why. So I'm allowed to hate them all. I'm allowed to be bad. I'm allowed to say this, or
Mm-hmm. What else has been going on in the news? Besides Russia taking their sweet time attacking Ukraine.
Oh yeah.
Hurry up and get it over with. It's 2022. Listen, I know we got an asteroid that almost hit us a few weeks ago. What's next? We got the Omicron calming down, but I guess
the rockets hitting the moon, or did it already hit, or is it supposed to hit today?
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, the same time that movie Moonfall is coming out today. Today Tuesday, so it's perfect timing. It's like publicity stunt. No.
Yeah. So what was what did you just say about the Omicron? Like, fuck, man, are we ever going to get over this goddamn COVID thing? That's
I mean, so, I think at this point, I myself think, I think we just need to get rid of the masks mandates and just leave it up to choice now, because it's to the point now where everything you see on the news about the numbers of people dying, it's equal to the people dying of like heart attacks and car accidents. But because they only show the COVID numbers, that's why you got people that are still, you got to wear your mask. You can't come into the store unless you have a mask. Even my apartment complex, it's like there's three girls that work in there at a time. But in order for me to go into the office, I have to like go on an app and do a COVID check-in thing.
Really?
And then ring a bell or call them so they can open the door. And they won't take our packages still. The mailman still has to put the packages at our doorstep. And it's like, come on, at this point,
Yeah, so you're in Portland, Oregon. I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada.
You're in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas, they don't give a shit. I mean, they do about you going into the casinos. They don't really give a shit. I see I don't know if you guys have it there still, but motherfuckers driving around with their big ass trucks with like 500 flags sticking out of it.
Yeah. So, and I, from what I heard, someone was telling me that I think Oregon's the only state that's still like really hardcore about the masks and everything else. Like, you can't even go to the store without a mask on.
I mean, that's the way it is. Anywhere you go inside, you're supposed to wear a mask. And people are pretty good about it. But I think in reality, nobody gives a shit here.
I think it just needs to be a choice now. Just let Darwin figure it all. Let's sort us all out.
Yeah.
Let Darwin's theory sort everything out.
Well, hopefully things get back to normal and,
I think we're heading in that direction, I don't think CNN lies, right? CNN tells the truth.
Oh yeah, they do, don't they?
They said we're getting back to normal slowly but surely, but then they still
they fucking bombard you with false information and shit.
Just like today, they said we just hit the milestone of 900,000 deaths from COVID. It's just like, oh shit.
Yeah, but what they don't tell you is if you die from a heart attack, but you have COVID when you died of a heart attack, you're considered a COVID death.
I've got a lot of clients that are like catching COVID because they're not vaccinated. But here's the thing. They say that all the people that are dying are not vaccinated. But I had 3 or 4 clients in the past 4 weeks that aren't vaccinated and they lived through the COVID. They must have got the Omicron, which is the lesser one. But but even had one that got the Delta, and she had to be on a ventilator at home. But they sent her home with a home ventilator, and but she's recovered now. She didn't die, and she didn't
I'm not saying it's not serious. I mean, obviously, you should do the precautions. I'm not an idiot. When I talk to somebody, I have a mask on, or I don't face them. I don't fucking go into a room where there's tons of people. When I go to a casino out here or something and we walk around, I make sure I don't touch anybody, just because I hate people in general. So I've been conditioned for this situation.
Yeah, me too. I haven't caught a cold in like 2 years.
I mean, yeah, it's just common sense shit. But like, I see people like, okay, so let's say there's two groups of people that don't know each other. They meet up, they go to a restaurant, they take their mask off, and they're sitting across from each other laughing and spitting in each other's faces and shit. Of course they're going to fucking catch it, you moron. You don't go out with somebody that you don't know or don't know if they're contagious or not, and then you start fucking laughing in their face and stuff. Of course, what do you think's going to happen?
Or what about UK Trump, the Boris guy? He's like caught with all those parties and shit. It was funny because like two weeks ago, he was like, "Oh, I welcome the investigations because I know they're not going to find anything." And then a week later, they show all these pictures of him at birthday parties with cake, no mask on.
They always say that. I guess he didn't burn the evidence fast enough.
Yeah, right.
He better fucking get on that shit, man.
Yeah. So I think he's probably going to have to resign. Probably, I think they're calling for his exit, but he's ignoring the request to resign.
So listen, guys, I appreciate everyone checking out the show. This is like I said, it's our first show. Just so you guys have an idea of what to expect, we're going to be bringing up some of our past because we are part of the Gen X generation. And I want you guys to think about something here that are out there. The difference between millennials, the difference between Gen Z, and the difference between Gen X. I want everyone to think about what they were doing when they were 3 years old. Just think about it. What were you doing when you were 3 years old? You were probably, sucking on your mama's teat, playing with your Legos and shit. But you know what I was doing? I was with my brother Erik digging in canals looking for frogs. I was in a 7-Eleven putting army men down my pants until it popped and the guy caught us and we had to run out of the store because we were stealing from the 7-Eleven.
Pissed my pants. That first really
when the cops got us that one time?
Yeah.
We blew up a car because we threw one of those, what were they? The flowers? Wasn't it the flower, like the fireworks? Yeah. And we lit it and we threw it into an open car, and it.
Which is weird that you remember that at 3 years old, because I don't remember anything of my 3 years being 3 years old. So I must have made a really memorable moment for you. That people remember that.
I remember a lot of weird shit from being 3 years old, man. Like, I remember us. Like, I do distinctly remember because we were really poor. And we couldn't afford a lot. We couldn't afford milk, but for some reason we had Trix cereal in the cupboard, and we were starving, and we're like, oh, we got to eat, because my dad at the time was working. Our mom was kind of crazy. And we're like, well, let's try Trix with water. Like we didn't even think like you could just eat Trix raw. Like for some reason we thought you had to put something in the Trix in order for it to work, and you had to eat it. So we put it with water, and it was like the grossest thing.
Well, you had 1 second of good tasting, and also then the aftertaste was like really bad.
Soggy.
So you had to woof it down really fast while it tasted good. Until it got soggy.
So our generation, we grew up poor, we grew up with nothing. But yet we still persevered. We were, like I said, at 3 or 4 years old, we were like, remember we went to this weird tree in the back of the school where we found this dead bird and it had all these baby birds inside. Weren't we like pulling out the eggs or something out of its dead body? Do you remember that?
Slightly remember, yeah.
That for some reason that stuck in my head because I remember there were ants everywhere, and we had this friend Robbie who was a little bit older than us. You were 8 years old at the time.
That was in Santa Clara.
We were in that canal. Like we were in this giant canal, like looking for frogs. And now that I think about it, that place could have like filled up with water at any point and probably drowned all of us. We were just like in this huge canal, like water system, just fucking hanging out, doing shit. I was 3 years old. I don't even know if I was still in diapers or not. Like I don't even remember, but I remember doing weird shit like that, like as a kid.
And for all you animal advocates out there, we did do some pretty crazy stuff to those frogs, and that I'm not proud of. But we used to take them and just slam it against the concrete.
Well, listen. To be fair, here's the deal. With me and Erik and I, my dad, because we have different dads, but my dad at the time, he was working to help feed the family. But my mom, before they got divorced, she had schizophrenia. So she really didn't pay attention to us. She didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Just kind of vegetable on the couch all the time.
Yeah. So talking to herself.
Up on Excedrin.
Yeah. At that time, it was Bear aspirin. I remember that because my dad said something like, you took a whole bottle of Bear aspirin in a day or something like, like she would take like pretty much a whole bottle in a day to stop the headaches or whatever the voices she heard. Cause nobody knew back then in the 70s, 80s, nobody knew as much about mental illness or what to do about it. So
especially when it comes to therapy or different right medication. It's just like,
So when your two little fucking gumbo kid, was it called Gumbo or Gummo?
Gummo, Gummo.
When your two little Gummo kids with no parental supervision and you're just thrusted upon the world, you do some weird shit, man.
Yeah, some shit's going to go down.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that on this show. So if you want to hear more about some weird shit, we got some stories that are going to fuck with you. So
I just wish we had video from that stuff from back then.
Yeah.
Super 8 or whatever. Whatever kind of video there would be back then, whatever type of tape they would use.
Yeah, we'd probably be arrested today with that shit, man. There was some crazy shit that we did with all of our friends.
We had to steal our toys, man.
Yeah. I remember we used to steal the chickens. Like there was this flea market and we would jump the fence when I was like 5 or 6 and you're 5 years older than me. We would jump the fence, steal the chickens, and then walk down to the Mexican community where all the Mexicans were, and we would sell them $5 a pop. They would buy the chickens and then slaughter them right in front of us.
Yeah.
And we were like, hey, that's how we made money for the day to buy candy and toys.
I think the first time we saw that happen, we're like just like totally dumbfounded and thinking like, oh shit, what do we do?
That guy just took that. It was like a machete and just fucking chopped the chicken's head off
right in front of us. It was like, okay, I thought you wanted us a pet.
I think that's probably what we thought. And
we're like leading them to their slaughter. That was when we went back to Outwater.
Yeah, when we were living in Outwater. Yeah, well, we'll have to go through the timeline and little by little, so people can know how fucked up we are. And
a lot easier than writing a book. Writing a book, we'll just talk about it.
Yeah, we get to laugh about it. Well, I think my point is that you're going to hear us talk about some fucked up shit, and we're going to make fun of it, and we're going to laugh about it, because the reason we laugh at people's misfortune is that our lives were so fucked up when we were kids. We had no other choice, man. We could either sit there and cry, and we probably did cry many times over the weird shit that happened to us, but we always made each other laugh. We always whenever our mommy would do something weird to me, you would make a joke about it and get me to laugh when I was like upset and crying. And that's just kind of what we did, is that's how we dealt with traumatic events, is we laughed about it. We made fun of it.
Yeah.
And so if you hear us make fun of something that's horrible, then just keep in mind that we're fucked up.
Yeah. And anything we did back then, if we were to do that these days, it would be like cancel culture.
Oh shit, we would have been in juvie for fucking 20 years,
Exactly. Yeah.
Damn, they would
have nowadays the life that we live back then, the kids live these days, they join gangs, or they turn to a real life of crime. Our crime was just shoplifting kiss cards and Battlestar Galactica and toys and
G.I. Joe figures.
Yeah, right.
Well, I think the benefit was things weren't recorded back then. If somebody was following us around with an iPhone, man, they would have got some shit.
There
would be some bands going on. People would be
right?
Yeah. So stay tuned for that, everybody. I want to thank everybody for listening to our first show.
Yeah.
Of course, you can reach us. We're going to build some social media crap. We don't have any right now. We're just kind of doing this on the fly. But for now, you can email us at genxbros@gmail.com. If you have a question for us, if any comments. If not, stay tuned for the next show, which we're going to try to do these every week, put them out as regularly as possible. And if you guys send us a question, we'll read it on the air and make fun of you too.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Eric? Any last words for you?
I just want to be able to make fun of people and get away with it.
Yeah. Yeah. What was our childhood?
and not get canceled or have anybody leave whatever platform just because of us.
But don't serial killers get that same benefit? Like whenever you hear about a serial killer and you say, oh, they had a horrible childhood, that's why they did it. Feel sorry for them. Don't give them the death penalty. So, hey, feel sorry for us. We had a horrible childhood. Yeah. And that's why we're fucked up.
Killers. We should have been serial killers.
I'm surprised we weren't serial killers. That's the real core. Maybe we are, and we're we just haven't. They just haven't found the bodies yet.
Yes. The only thing stopping me from being a serial killer is not having a crematorium.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
Yeah, I need to find a friend that owns a funeral parlor.
It's too much cleanup. I don't want to deal with all that shit, man.
Yeah.
I'm too lazy to fucking deal with dead bodies and shit like that. So it's just easier not to kill people.
Oh shit, the cops are here.
It'd be funny, they're all busting down your door and shit.
Big Brother was listening.
Good thing this isn't live.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah,
but all right, everybody, thanks for listening. We appreciate your support. Stay tuned for the next show.